Hey there booktube, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm giving you a little bit of an insight into my plans for November. When I say plans, I really mean goals. Reading goals, writing goals, life goals. So this month is NaNoWriMo. It is also Nonfiction November. It is also BorrowAThon. And it is also the month of Thanksgiving. It is the month before Christmas. There is a lot going on in November. But you don't get anything accomplished if you don't make goals. So here are some of the goals that I've set for myself for November. November, as you know, is National Novel Writers Month, NaNoWriMo. That means all over the country and indeed all over the world, there are writers who are challenging themselves to write 50,000 words of a novel in 1 month. So from November 1st to November 30th, every day we will attempt to write an average of 1,667 words to complete a 50,000 word count in 1 month. Every year since I think 2011, I have attempted this challenge. There are some years that I accomplished my goal. There are some years that I didn't, but every year I keep on trying. This year is going to be no different. So today on November 1st, I've set myself a goal to write 2,000 words today, and I'll be trying to do that every day because there are just going to be some days when it's not going to be possible to write, or I just won't feel like I know what to write. And so I like to have some words banked for when those days come. So that is one of my goals for November NaNoWriMo. This is also the month of Nonfiction November Challenge, which is to read more nonfiction books this month. For people who generally don't read a lot of nonfiction, they will be challenging themselves to read more nonfiction books. But since this month is a huge writing month for me, I also wanted to set myself a goal to read some nonfiction books, just to keep reminding myself to keep reading and not just spending my time writing. So I'm also going to be sharing with you my TBR for November Nonfiction Month. One of my favorite booktubers, Books and Lala, just shared a video where she talked about BorrowAthon, which is a readathon that encourages you to read books that you didn't purchase for yourself or that you borrowed from somewhere, borrowed from a library or a friend or something. I get a lot of my fiction books from the library. As a matter of fact, I get a lot of my books from the library. If there is a new book out, I usually reserve it from the library and read it, and if it's something that I love and want to have it in my collection, then I'll go out and purchase it. I'm a huge supporter of getting books from the library, and so this BorrowAthon I think is a great idea to reinforce the idea that you don't have to purchase books in order to read a lot of books. You don't have to buy books. You don't have to spend a lot of money to read. Reading should be one of those hobbies that you're able to do even without spending a lot of money or spending any money, because library card is free. In November, I'm continuing my challenge to read more Pulitzer Prize winning books. And so on my TBR this month, I have at least 2 books that are Pulitzer Prize winners. In this TBR, I'm going to be encompassing all of those goals. I'm going to be sharing with you 10 books that I have on my TBR this month. I might not get to all of them. I might not read more than just a couple of books. Even if I don't get through all of them, these are the books that I have planned. For Nonfiction November, these are the 5 books that I have on my TBR. I have The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferris. This is a book that was written in the early 2000s, and it got so much attention that Tim Ferris went back and updated it. And so this is the expanded and updated version. I have previously flipped through this book in Barnes & Noble. I wasn't sure that it was something that I wanted to read because I don't have a traditional 9-to-5 job. And I thought, okay, I don't really think that book is for me. But there are lessons in this book that I frequently hear being referenced. And so I thought it was time for me to read this book myself. Next on my list is Thou Shalt Prosper by Daniel Lappin. He is the rabbi who wrote the book Business Secrets from the Bible. I previously read that book a few months ago and I was really impressed with that book, so I wanted to read something else by him. His thesis, I think, for most of his books is about using the lessons from the Bible, not just to enhance your spiritual life, but to create financial advancement. We have in our possession, most of us have a copy of the Bible, and we have in our possession the book that the Jews are using to teach them finance. and how are we using it. So this is a book that I really wanted to get to, and I have that on my TBR for November. A few weeks ago I got this book and I wanted to really use it to learn more about my personal style, how I could improve my personal style. And you could tell, I mean, right now I'm wearing a lot of turtleneck and crew neck sweaters because it is cold. I have a cold. I don't generally dress like this during the day, but if I had to take a picture of myself every day for 2 weeks, would I be comfortable with the presentation that I'm making to the world? So this book talks a lot about that. I've been wanting to delve into this book and really figure out some of the things that I am not comfortable with and that I want to change, and how to do that. So this is on my TBR for November as well. I got this awesome book a few days ago. I talked about it in my book haul. I am really looking forward to just reading through this book. It is huge, it is heavy, it is huge, but it doesn't have as much writing in it because the concentration is on these beautiful pictures. And I know that I could read this book maybe in a day, because I do want to read about these cultures that are presented in this book. And so because of the format of this book, I know it will take a lot of time, so I'm pretty comfortable putting this book on my November TBR. This is another book that I started in October. I didn't get very far, so I'm going to be reading it in November instead. It is by Deepak Chopra and Kimberly Snyder, entitled Radical Beauty. It has to do with how you take care of your body and nourish it from the inside, that allows you to experience physical beauty on the outside. One of the categories in the Winter Reading Challenge is to read a fiction and a nonfiction book that both deal with the same topic. I chose Moonwalking with Einstein as my nonfiction read. This has to do with memory, using mnemonic devices to help to remember things. The description on the back of this book says, if you want to understand how we remember and how we can all learn to remember better, then read this book. So I really wanted to read this book. And as an accompaniment, I wanted to find a fiction book that dealt with Einstein. And I got an arc from NetGalley that is entitled The Other Einstein, which has to do with Einstein's first wife. She is the person who's credited unofficially as being the brains behind his early work. And so I found this historical fiction arc, and so that is my first book on my fiction TBR. I also started reading Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout. This is a Pulitzer Prize winner, so this of course helps to advance my Pulitzer Prize winning reading challenge. And I'm also reading Jhumpa Lahiri's Interpreter of Maladies. I got this book from the library. I need to return it soon. This is also a Pulitzer Prize winner. I'm going to be reading The Vegetarian by Han Kang. This one has also won some awards. So this story is about a woman who decides to become a vegetarian, and about the negative response that she gets from her husband and her family because of the decision that she has made. I've heard a lot of really great things about this book, and I'm supposing that you have too, so I guess you understand why I want to read this book really soon. I know I said I had 10 books, but I really do have 11, because rounding out my TBR, I have this book that I received to get a review. It's called Wallflower Blooming, and it is by Amy Rivers. And I got this book from a group called TLC Tours. So along with this book, I also got this letter from the author, which I didn't want to read yet because I'm saving it to read it when I start reading the book. It is a beautiful cover. I think I have to submit my review sometime in November, which is why I know this book needs to be on my TBR. So that is my TBR for November. I have 11 books on my TBR. I don't know if I'll get to all of them. I know I will get through some of them, and because I've already started Olive Kitteridge, and I know I need to finish a couple of them in order to do a review. And so I'll try, we'll see. So this month I'm going to be reading a lot. I'm going to be reading some nonfiction for Nonfiction November. I'm also going to be doing the BorrowAThon in the second week in November. That's going to be the readathon, where I only read books that I have borrowed, which is most of these books. And also I'm going to be doing NaNoWriMo. This month I'm really going to try to film something every day, where I film a little bit of my life. I'm going to be trying to do some daily vlogs. So yeah, add one more challenge to the list. So that's it from me for today. Those are my goals for November. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your goals are. I'm going to put in my description box a link to my NaNoWriMo page so that if you're also doing NaNoWriMo, you can add me as a friend so you can see my page count as I keep writing. Hopefully that will be every day and that my page count will be increasing steadily. There have been many times when I didn't start writing until like way past the second week of the challenge. But this time I want to be disciplined. I want to do it. So your support is greatly appreciated. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're working on, what you're reading next, and let's talk. So thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.